now. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jean Smart, and I am the conference chair for the Clinical Trials BC Conference 2021, which is our first provincial conference and is virtual. I'm speaking to you from Point Grey at UBC, and I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which I am on is the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Musqueam people. The theme of the conference is the modernization of clinical trials. This is a critical renovation and modernization that is underway at the larger global clinical trials community. The foundational guidelines and the regulations are changing. Why? To adapt to new technology, new methodology, designs, and innovation, and to apply quality and risk-based approaches. And we want to include new data sources, diverse populations, engagement with participants, and a much wider group of stakeholders. The Conference Planning Committee has put together a program that highlights these themes, and our program includes an inspiring keynote address from the person dubbed the guru of clinical trials. We have 3 days of panels in formats that provide short and concise and more to the point presentations with a lot of time for discussion. You're not going to want to miss our awards presentation. We have 2 rather special recognition awards going out this year for service and one for support in the clinical trials community. The exhibition hall will be open throughout the conference, and please do come by and see the 25 booths. Say hello to the Clinical Trials BC staff, the AHSN staff, 3 professional development groups, all of your friends at the other health authorities, and give a really warm welcome to our newest group, Northern Health Authority. We have time for you to explore the new programs and tools and visit and register the REACH booth. And you're not going to want to miss the brand new release of the Clinical Trials BC best practices in communicating study results to clinical trial participants. The leadership finale on day 3 in the afternoon will wind up the 3-day filled events, and we're going to have a look at the changes, the impact of modernizing, and the response needed by the BC stakeholders working together to build clinical trials here in BC. I expect that the modernization of clinical trials will mean something very different to each and every one of you, but I think there'll be a lot of commonalities as well. I sincerely hope that you enjoy the conference. I'm really delighted to declare it open. There are several people here with me this morning that would like very much to extend a welcome to you. The host for the welcome segment is the Director of Clinical Trials BC, Alison Orth. Alison.
Thank you, Jean. It is my privilege to host the Clinical Trials BC Conference opening session today. I am coming to you today from White Rock, BC, and I would like to begin by acknowledging I work and live and play is the traditional and unceded territory of Coast Salish peoples, specifically the Kwantlen, Kutsi, Semiahmoo, and Tsawwassen First Nations. We will be opening our conference today with a traditional welcome, and I ask that we are all present and in the moment during this time. It is my honor to introduce Elder Sequalia. Sequalia.
Kai Ochton, I welcome each and every one of you today to the unceded Coast Salish territories of the Squamish Nation, my nation, and Tsleil-Waututh and Musqueam. If you're coming in on air to our territory. And I also acknowledge and welcome everyone from the unceded Coast Salish or not Coast Salish, but from the unceded First Nation territories where you live, work, and play. I'd like to raise my hands to each and every one of you and say Chen Quinmin Tomi, I'm grateful and thankful to each and every one of you for all the work that you do and for being here today. And I would like to say that we need to be in Chomo and Squalwin. One heart and one mind is how we say it in Squamish language. In Hamalkamalum, they say Natsamat and Squalwin. One heart and one mind. And I ask that you always think of there's so many of you today that Yenchen Dwight is what my grandfather taught me. Stand and work together to hold each other up, support one another, help each other. That's what that word means. It means so much. And if we all lived that phrase, it would make things easier in everything that we do. So keep Chen Dwight, and that's what today is about. I'm Sequalia and Wanik from the Squamish Nation, and my late grandfather Sequalton, Dominic Charlie, and my elders taught me that we all have an energy within within us. And that energy, if we believe in it, we can heal ourselves or help ourselves with prayer to that energy from Creator and the ancestors. And we believe like that the energy comes down through the crown of your head into you from Creator and ancestors to your energy, and that we can send that energy out to each other through prayer. And it doesn't matter where you are, we send each other energy. And so the other thing is they believe that when a prayer is happening, you can't be like this or this or this. You need to be open. So I usually tease people and say that we'll do Tai Chi and yoga breathing. And then I also wanted to share with you that my grandfather, Dominic's father, was Chenaltzit. That's my grandson carries that name that lives with me. And my daughter, Josephine, shares my name, Sequalia, and has the name Sekonakos, who was Sequalia's daughter. And Chenaltzit, who he's named after, was my late brother who shared the name with him. And then also my great-grandfather, who the priest named Jericho Charlie. And Jericho Charlie lived at Iamoch. And when they created reserves, they moved him off Iamoch over to Sinauk. And later on, they honored him because that's where his longhouse was, and named it after him. So it's now known as Jericho Beach. And then Sinauk was where Hatzalanosiam lived. And he met the old man way back in the 1700s, met the Captain Cook and Fraser and Vancouver when they came in. When they removed from through Shady Land Deal. And later days, they thought we should, when they named Jericho Beach, they also named Sinauk, renamed it as after that chief. We say Siam headman, and they couldn't say Hatzelano, so they anglicized it. And you know it as the world famous Kitsilano Beach. So just a history of our Squamish ancestors. And now I'm going to ask you to open yourself up, take a few breaths, do Tai Chi breathing, yoga breathing, and just ground yourself. And I'm going to share Sequalia's song, my ancestor who lived in the island now known as Stanley Park before they connected it with the causeway and filled in that waterway. It was an open waterway to build the man-made Lost Lagoon. And this is her song that the elders fixed. It's called Sequalia Slolum Ha Squal, Greeting of the Day. Sequalia's song. And it's a healing song. I'm going to sing this song, and while I do, I ask you all to start coming together in Shomot and Squalwin, one heart and one mind, and pray for each other and for the beautiful day of gathering and for your family and friends. Then I'll say a prayer, and I'll be here watching and listening for a while, and then I'll rejoin you in a for the closing. Chen Quin Mentomi Kakakanak Chasiam, Yonso Tenoyap and Manman to squalls to seats, Yonsio Manman Squalwin, Yonsio Manman and Quadal Chet, Siaya Chet, Squalwin, Yonsio Manman Snachum, say saw seat. Asking you, Creator, to watch over and guide and protect each and every one of your children gathered here today. Also protect and watch over their families, Equatal Chet and Siaya Chet, and help all of them with their squallowing, their feelings in their hearts and minds, their mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health and well-being. And asking you, Creator, to help all of your children gathered here with the work that we're going to be doing today and in the next few days. That sets up. And Creator, help each and every one of your children, especially the presenters, their words. Let people take into their heart what's meant for them, set aside what they don't need today to bring back another day, and to share respectfully their knowledge transfer, their experiences, or maybe ask questions, although we have a chat box for questions. And also, Creator, hear our prayers for all our family and friends who have many serious illnesses, those who have tested positive, recovering, those with all forms of cancer getting treatments, those with heart problems, those with and getting treatment, those with arthritis, diabetes, TB, HIV, Hep C, meningitis, cold and flu, and all the other illnesses I can't even name, and all of the those with injuries, those waiting for surgery, those who have had surgery. Prayers for all of them for their health, healing, and recovery. Asking you, Creator, to hear our prayers for all of our family and friends who have traumas and battles with alcohol and drugs, especially during this time of opioid crisis. The last few years, it's gotten bad during COVID and is taking many lives. And for those who have are incarcerated because of their traumas and battles with alcohol and drugs, and also for those who are homeless because of their traumas and battles in this cold weather and rain weather, snowy weather, protect them and hear our prayers for them to find the healing path to health, wellness, and sobriety and finding recovery so they become survivors. Creator, hear our prayers for their family and friends who have daily anxiety, worrying about them, and always waiting to hear from them, to know that they're all right. Let our prayers lift them up today. All of us send those prayers and energy out to them to lift them up. Also, Creator, hear our prayers for all our family and friends who have lost loved ones and have squalling, strong feelings of grief in their heart, to know that feeling never leaves of missing them because it's the love we have for them, and eventually we'll remember them with happiness and laughter of the memories here in our hearts and minds. And also, Creator, know and all of our loved ones who leave us, they worry about us because we're left here to walk our life journey and complete the work we have to do. And so they help us with being guardian angels and send spiritual help when we're in a low feeling or feeling low in a day. And then all of a sudden you see a dragonfly, and we believe they're ancestors. And then I read that they 2 sets of wings because they carry angels on their back. And I also had read that believe ladybugs and butterflies are angels come to visit, and hummingbirds, and maybe you see an eagle or hear a raven or see a raven or maybe a whale or wolf, something that makes you smile. No, and then you walk around all day feeling uplifted after you had felt low, and then you're uplifted. That's your loved ones spiritually helping you. So know they're always helping the best they can and watching over us. Again, Creator, asking you to help this work to be up, yet one health, and excellent work today. And asking you, Creator, to watch over everyone at the end of the day and over the next few days. Tama Kwetsi Snachim, those are my words. Chen Quen Mentomi. I'm grateful and thankful to all of you for allowing me to share a part of your day today. And Wachayap Yo, you all take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Elder Sequalia, for welcoming us today. We are grateful and respect the people on whose lands and waters we are joining from to gather today. We are very thankful for you grounding and centering us for today and opening our hearts to learning. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Mary Ackenhusen to say a few words on behalf of the Ministry of Health. Mary holds the appointment of Senior Executive in Residence and lead for the Partnerships and Innovation Division at the British Columbia Ministry of Health. This exciting new role is focused on health innovation and aligns with Mary's longstanding commitment to system transformation. Mary is also a member of the BC Academic Health Science Network Board of Directors. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much, Allison. And what a wonderful traditional greeting. Thank you, Elder Sequalia. We really enjoyed that. And it's a great reminder to all. I think there's hundreds of us, 600 folks registered from BC of the unceded territories that we live and work on and are communicating, contacting virtually on. And that grounding and centering is a wonderful way to start this 3-day conference. I'm very happy to bring very warm welcome from the Ministry of Health. As Allison noted, I am the lead for the Partnerships Innovation Division, which encompasses research and innovation, which is so exciting and certainly very relevant to the things that we'll be talking about over the next 3 days. I think all of us were very happy on New Year's Eve this past year to say goodbye to 2020, because we're so hoping and optimistic that 2021 is going to look a lot different than what we've just lived through. And so while it's been a difficult year, and there's certainly been a lot of negative things that have happened to so many of us, physically, mentally, socially, economically, there have been some good highlights as well. And I think the health system and the research within the health system are some of the things that we can point to that have done extraordinarily well, actually have exceeded our expectations in some sense, in terms of how we've rallied together to address the challenges of the pandemic. And in this leadership role that I've had the privilege to carry within the Ministry of Health, it's allowed me to more closely see the exciting work that's happening in the research world and how we learned over the past year how to become more agile, more nimble, more quick. And while we've always worked hard to make sure that we shorten that time from bench to bedside, so to speak, we always lament that it's been just much too long. Some say as long as 14 and 17 years. And yet today my family's very excited. My mother, who lives in Washington State, is going to get her first dose of a vaccine. She's 92 years old. And that is such a great testament to to what's possible in terms of research, and in particular clinical trials, to bring in less than a year, to bring a vaccine of that stature into our world to help solve this pandemic. And so I hope as we learn over the next 3 days, we'll think about what have we learned about research? How have we learned to become more agile and nimble and quick? I'm helping to sponsor a study right now around COVID. And the principal investigator speaks about, like, we're doing in 4 weeks what normally would take us 6 months to do. And we're doing that because the pandemic is so devastating to us. But we need to learn from that. How have we done this? What have we done well? And how do we capture that for the future? So I look forward in the sessions that I plan to attend, thinking about that, reflecting, so that we can take those learnings forward and implement them into the future, because that's how we will help provide the best care for our patients here in BC, across Canada, and across the world. So this is going to be a very exciting 3 days, and I welcome you to reflect, to listen, to learn, and really enjoy yourself. Thank you, and back to you, Allison.
Thank you, Mary. That was a very inspiring and energizing welcome from you and Ministry of Health. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Our next greeting is from Sterling Bryan. Sterling is the president of the BC Academic Health Science Network. He's also professor, School of Population and Public Health at UBC, senior scientist, Center for C2E2 at Vancouver Coastal Health Research Institute. Over to you, Sterling, our fearless leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alison, and a very warm welcome on behalf of the BC Academic Health Science Network. I'm joining you today from my home in North Vancouver, and I'd like to start by acknowledging and thanking the Coast Salish peoples whose ancestral, traditional, and unceded territories where I reside, and I express my gratitude to the Squamish Nation and the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. Today is the start of an important and an exciting event. We're about the modernization of clinical trials in a Canadian and British Columbian context. And we're going to hear about the opportunity to bridge from research undertaken in the context of clinical trials to the system to influence clinical practice and also to influence health policy. We're talking about learning health systems. So I feel that this is both an important and obviously an exciting event for us at the Academic Health Science Network and Clinical Trials BC. So as part of the BC Academic Health Science Network, we have two streams of activity. One is around research infrastructure, and Clinical Trials BC is one of our operating units. So evidence of building strong health research infrastructure in the province. And the second piece is around connections. So connecting research to the health system to ensure that we see impact and uptake of that research within the health systems. And so key to our work at AHSN and CTBC is strong connections and partnerships. And so I would just like to say a very big thank you for everyone who's attending the conference. Thank you for your engagement in the conference and for the support that you provide both to Clinical Trials BC and to the BC Academic Health Science Network. And so my wish for you all is an enjoyable and an educational 3 days. And I'll pass back to Alison.
Thank you, Sterling. Very inspiring wishes. I would like to also extend my own welcome to everyone attending our conference on behalf of Clinical Trials BC and our Advisory Council. This is our very first provincial conference, and we are thrilled to see that more than 600 have registered and joining us over the next 3 days. It is difficult to imagine the number of stakeholders here together with us now, and that the journey of Clinical Trials BC began only 10 years ago, in 2010, with the establishment of our predecessor, BC CRIN, or the BC British Columbia Clinical Research Infrastructure Network. Continuing the work of BC CRIN, our CTBC team under BC AHSN has worked hard to keep developing the initial efforts in capacity building infrastructure supports to enable the clinical research community in British Columbia. Together with you, we are facilitating coordination of the clinical trials community across the province. Our small but mighty team is working to create awareness of what clinical trials are like in all regions of BC, and this is helping to enhance multi-site clinical trials across the province. Development of provincial programs such as the quality management and clinical trial management systems brings value to the stakeholders across the province. Our work to improve the participant experience and increase patient engagement in clinical trials is advancing in partnership with the BC Support Unit and regional centres, and synergies created by working alongside Research Ethics BC are opening doors to new ways of working. Being a strong and connected community is especially important at the current time as we rally together to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and recover from its effects on our community and our ongoing research and clinical trials. We could not have made it here without you. Thank you to all of our partners and our stakeholders, patient and public partners, researchers, trialists, and other support organizations such as Life Sciences BC. There are many others, too many to name, but we thank you for being here today and supporting us throughout our journey. Without you, the modernization of Clinical Trials Conference would not have happened. I also thank our conference chair and planning committees. Again, on behalf of Clinical Trials BC, we hope this conference will inspire ideas and discussions around ways to advance clinical trials in BC. We hope you learn plenty about the modernization of clinical trials, share your expertise, and make new connections over the next few days. I look forward to collaborating with you over the next 10 years and beyond. Our next session is the keynote address, which I am very much looking forward to and excited about, and just remind you to log out of the session and back into that. Thank you.